So you know how at an earlier video I said that I was on track to reach my first 1K month? Well, some complications happened and I only reached half of it. So yeah. Because I lost a couple of these. So moving on from that, next time I'm gonna talk about it is when the actual money hits my bank account. I think that's probably a better route to go. Maybe I'll just make another video on it when that happens, or some post on the community tab. So what went wrong? Well, looking back, and since this is a documentation of my business life, I think the biggest problem was that while I did do more outreaches than I have in the last month, I didn't do as many as I expected I would be able to, so not as much output, and I didn't close as many of the leads that I could have because I just thought they were a bit too low ticket for what my goal was. Which you could argue is not a bad thing since it would have let me hit the monthly goal, but it would have hurt me because it would have stood in the way of the yearly goal. So yeah. But it's not something I regret because for me to reach the title of this video, I'm gonna have to be a bit more picky anyways with the leads that I do close. So it's back to being a good thing, I guess? That aside, I want to hit at least one 4K month this year, and for me to do that, I needed to get a bit more organized, because up till now I was just messaging whoever was apparent to me and I'd wait for it to see how it goes. But that won't really work if I want to scale up to that number. And so for that, I needed to actually get a CRM, a customer relationship management software. And so looking from all the ones that I tried, because some of them are more software oriented like Suite CRM, but even for someone with a programming background it just felt too daunting for me, so I just went with the one by HubSpot, the free one in their plan. It is definitely one of the best free available options for, I'd say, small to medium sized businesses ish. This doesn't require too much hassle, and I just needed some place for me to keep up with all the people in my contact list, who I reached out to, who I didn't, how many times I did reach out to them, if they rejected, if they accepted, are they my clients yet or not, that kind of thing. But now that also meant that I had the power to see my conversion rates. The numbers are a little rough since I've only been tracking for around a month or so, but from the 15 people that I reached out to, only one person was qualified enough for me to start working with them and become my client. Which, I mean, isn't a horrible conversion rate. We're still talking about 7%, that's pretty decent. But when you factor in that every sample takes about 30 minutes or so for me to get out, it becomes kind of a bit more iffy. Then in ideal conditions, we're talking about, I don't know, 8 hours to get one client, which is, you know, a lot of freaking time, and it's not ideal, especially considering that for me to get one client that will allow me to reach that revenue goal, it's about half as often as that, so it's really 16 hours. So it's about 16 hours of outreach just for that one client, and we're gonna need about 4 of them to reach the revenue target, so 16 times 4. But honestly, we should account for 8 just to cover any kind of unexpected churn or circumstances, just to be in the safe area, even if it's not as common in the higher ticket ranges, at least in my experience. So 16 times 8, which is about 128 hours of outreach, just at a minimum since we're accounting for the worst possible scenarios. So it's about, I don't know, an hour a day since we're talking about 4 months, which comes out to 2 samples ish every single day, which is honestly not that bad. But it's important to keep in mind that I have to do that alongside of college work, posting 3 times a week on this channel, and making sure all the client deliverables are done on time. Yeah. Well, at least it's somewhat a reasonable workload. But a plan is a plan, and we'll see how it works out, and you will be one of the first people to know. And so with that, I'm gonna lead you to those 2 videos, take of them whichever you like, sub so I can reach 1K, and bye.